topic for today's discussion is keys to success, what every small business owner should know. Keys signify access or entry, and in this case, it is MBR's desire to help every small business owner gain access to the success that you desire for your small business. 50% of small businesses fail within the first year, so if you're still standing, congratulations. That within itself is a success. However, the often repeated adage that knowledge is power is very true. We hope this discussion starts you on your journey to further success. Today we have four expert panelists that will be giving their perspective on success for small business. We have two small business owners, one that's been in business for a length of time, another one that's just starting out, and we also have two business support professionals whose day-to-day job is to help small businesses grow and mature. Let's start the discussion. So the first question is, outside of capital, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge to growing a small business? It could be an internal barrier or an external barrier. And how can a business owner overcome this challenge? And we'll start with Shareen, and the rest of you guys just jump in as you feel.
Okay, well, I think that lack of planning is probably the biggest challenge. Not understanding that you do need a business plan or some form of a business plan to get started, and knowing that you have an outline to follow kind of gives you the framework so that you can answer all the questions that you need in order to start your business. I like to tell my clients that when I hand over the business plan outline and they look at it and they say, well, gosh, this is too much work, or I don't know the answers to all these questions, and I say that's exactly the point. That the whole point is it's like writing a research paper for your own business. It's as you're doing the business plan, you're finding out the answers to all the questions that you need to know to be in business. So I think lack of planning and the big piece of that, I think, is knowing your target market, knowing who your target customers are, because 20% of your revenue comes from 80% of your clients, or that little small target market. So knowing who they are, and through your business planning process, you'll kind of find out who that is. So I think that's probably what I can say.
And I would agree with Shareen. There's a Harvard study that actually said 80% of businesses that spend less than 6 months on their business plans fail. And those who spend a year or more on their business plan, there's an 80% success rate. So you can be in the failure rate or you can be in the success rate at 80%. So definitely. You guys want to chime in?
I would like to say an obstacle would be getting past the stereotype of being a small business. And I think that's an internal and external barrier, because externally, a lot of people look at small businesses as just what it is. It's a small business. They expect us not to have great customer service. They expect, if you're a business that has an actual product, they expect your product to be substandard. So there are a lot of stereotypes that go along with small business. For me personally, I've come across people, and like I said earlier, I've created my own cosmetic line. And it's a professional grade cosmetic line. Professional makeup artists use my line in their work for video shoots, TV shows, and so on. But the average customer that comes in expects my product not to be a professional grade product. So they're expecting to pay $5 for a lipstick that is really $15 because of the quality of the product itself. As far as internally, I think it's a barrier, because you look at it and you want to break out of that role of I'm a small business, I can't do this or I can't do that. And you have to look past that and say, I'm starting as a small business and then I'm going to grow. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the challenges I see as a small business.
A couple of challenges that I see, what I had to deal with was, how do I lay the correct foundation in going forward in business? And so from an internal standpoint, one of the first things I had to do was really pray over my business and ask the Lord for direction. Which way should I go in promoting this business, and having an unshakable mentality, having a strong physical foundation with the guidance and encouragement you're going to need from God in going forward, because business is business. It's tough. it's hard out there because you do have competition. You do have ones that are going to try to get in your way and block you and say, hey, it's going to be hard to get this done and do that. So you have to know that your strength is going to come from God. You're going to have that wisdom. Also, you have to see your business as a puzzle. And putting a puzzle together, you have to have certain pieces to get the correct picture. You have to have necessary components. You have to have people, resources jointly fit together so that your business becomes a reality. Also, business is teamwork. You shouldn't have the mentality that I can do this by myself, me, myself, and I. Also, a big challenge is understanding the true purpose for establishing a business. For me, it was building generational wealth. Am I looking to take this business and pass it on to someone else in the family? If you look at it in that way, you're going to be able to, I would say, stand the test of time. You won't give up so easily and quit because you've got to be your purpose, got to be your foundation for your business.
What do you want to say, Shareen?
I'm just going to add two things. In terms of just giving it a perspective, so if you're a business that are interested or doing government contracting, what are some of the issues you may, where do I start on that? There's tons of issues that you can run into. Probably one of the biggest challenges is understanding how it works, understanding how all the pieces fit together. And the biggest, I guess the biggest thing in terms of understanding is that a lot of people, it's like, if you're working on your business on a daily basis, at a certain point you start seeing some of the returns on that constant. With government contracting, it's a little different. It's constant. It might take a long time before you get to those results you're looking for. And in terms of the general business, from working with several different businesses, and I've worked with the ones that have 2 employees to the one that have 100 employees, I think people are the most important thing, or the most valuable asset that a small business has. If you don't understand that, you will never grow above a sole proprietor. Valuing people, taking the time to train them, to get their buy-in into the business can make a difference between being a small business and growing to being a large business. Or, growing to where you want to grow, where you want to take your business to.
Very good. Thank you so much. I would also suggest that managing time is one of the biggest challenges to growing a small business, particularly if you're working for someone else full-time and attempting to grow your business at the same time.
Yep.
One of the scenarios that I always think about is there are 24 hours in a day. So if you spend 8 hours working for someone else, if you spend 6 to 8 hours sleeping, eating, doing some of those miscellaneous things, and then you spend 3 hours with your family, you still have 5 hours to work on your business each day. So what can we do to maximize that time in those 5 hours will be a win-win for our business. So to segue into our next question, what do you believe are the top 2 technology resources for small business that will help us maximize that time? Anyone can start.
I'll go first. I really don't like technology. I'm scared of it. I think it's scared of me sometimes. I swear my laptop just died. But one thing that I have definitely found helpful was a smartphone. Me personally, I travel a lot for my business, so having that and being able to have access to the email and have access to social media and being able to go on the internet and check things if I need to definitely helps. And believe it or not, everybody does not have a smartphone. And I said to my mom one day, I was like, you need to upgrade because I sent you an email. You haven't gotten it? Well, I haven't been to the house yet. You need to upgrade to a smartphone. So I'll just go with a smartphone because it definitely gives you access when you're traveling. And being a small business owner, you have to wear multiple hats. So you're not able to be in front of a computer all day. So definitely a smartphone is a good resource technology for me.
I'd like to echo that. A smartphone is actually one of the things that I wrote down. I said it seems silly, but having a smartphone is probably one of the biggest things for a small business owner because you can just be in touch at all times. But having some sort of a planning software You know, whether it be as simple as a calendar or and an accounting software for your business. I think those are smart. But something that I thought of was there's mobile apps for everything when you have a smartphone. I mean, you name it, it's most likely out there. So I thought if you could just sit down and brainstorm about what are the things that you do every day and what things would be helpful for you every day, maybe make a list of those things. I'm quite sure with whether it's networking with other people that are that are in business and finding out what they use for apps or just kind of searching on their own, there's probably something out there that can help you in your daily routine.
Also, we need a good, simple, basic website. We need to have that. And also, with photos, what I've learned in business is that if your photos of what your product is not presentable, it's not good quality, it doesn't support in what you're asking for, consumers to pay for. So there are mobile apps out there that you can, download to help you to put forth a real good quality picture for your website.
And customer management system.
I didn't hear you.
Customer management system.
Oh.
Keeping touch with the people that you do business with, and that can go from a simple retail store to a very large company. Not only does it allow you to keep constant contact with them, but it also it's a good way to communicate anything that's going on in your business in social media. Everything is moving towards that, even the federal government, believe it or not.
Yeah.
The GSA, which is the General Services Administration, that they do a lot of purchasing for the federal government, actually advertises some of their opportunities on Twitter.
And the city of Greenville is moving towards that, actually posting our bids on Facebook and Twitter.
Now the question, I just want to make a point on that first, where you're talking about business challenges. And I think one of the major challenges that I didn't hear anybody say was you have to understand the business that you're in. That's the main thing. Because a lot of people get in business, for instance, the best carpenter on the job don't always make the best business owner. So you have to understand the business that you're in. And more so than just actually doing the business, you got to understand the operation, complete operation of the business, from rooter to the tutor. So, because you're it. I mean, if you're a small business owner, you're it. I mean, and, when legal things come up, they're coming to you. When accounting things come up, they're coming to you. So, you have to fully understand the whole business, entire business. On the technology part, I made a comment about, everybody needs an accounting system. You got to have some way to keep up your records. Because that, to me, that's, you want to get on your feet, let IRS come in on you. They'll put you on your feet, walking. So you need something to keep up with your business. You need to be able to keep your business organized. And you just need, smartphones are good. All this stuff is good. But when this stuff go down, what's your backup plan? You need a good backup system. You need a way to download all your information and keep that available so that if something happened to your primary system, then you have something as a backup. But what most businesses do, they get this nice computer system and they rely completely on that computer system, and when it goes down, they lost. No backup, no means, and IRS will come in and rip you apart. So, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. I appreciate your comments. Always words of wisdom, always. I think we had another comment from Dolly.
I have a question, actually. Outside of my business, my most recent professional history has been in nonprofit. And they say that it's good to touch your clients 7 times per year. Aside from nonprofits, is it the same for businesses? What's the norm if you have newsletters or sending out little blasts and whatnot? What's considered overkill and what's considered the right place where you're really keeping their attention and giving them valuable information but not bugging your customers?
There are several, it depends on which aspect you're looking at it. if it's from, like, if you're talking to government contracting specialists, you know, you're reaching out to a agency to kind of let them know you exist.
In my case, the end client, I deal primarily directly with the customer who's purchasing the can.
Right. I say once a month, it's generally, you want to keep in touch with them. You want to let them know you're still going, what's going on. It's a good idea if you're using social media. Social media is a daily thing, whether you're using Twitter and retweeting something important that's trending, that's relevant to your business. If you're doing Facebook, you obviously want to do it at least daily, sometimes a couple of times a day, depending on what's going on. But if you're reaching out and you're doing that as a reach out to your customers, you definitely at least once a month want to keep in touch with them. And that can be either via newsletter, quick email, quick phone call, depending on what that customer prefers. Each of them is very different. Personally, like when I reach out to clients, I don't let more than a quarter go by that I'm at least reaching out to, hey, how you doing, how are things going, do you need anything?
Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna probably piggyback a little bit on my partner over here. First thing I'm gonna say, in any business that you do, it's gotta be who you are. That's the very first thing, is finding out who are you and what's in you and what you was called to do. Because success to me, and have always been, is doing what you love to do and somebody's paying you. Once you're able to find that area there, then that's when you start seeking God, as Minister Marvin had mentioned. The young lady just said a key thing about planning, and as any business being set up, it had to have a plan. Even God had a plan. You understand? And then you have to put it in order by organizing it. And a lot of people's life is not organized. You can look at a person's checkbook and you can tell you where they at. You know, most female closets got shoes all over the place. But organization is the key thing in organizing your business with your plan. All right. Then you understand that as you organize it, then you have to work it. I mean, some folks feel that they put some things out there, and that, you know, like you're putting a seed inside a garden, it's going to grow. It says faith without work is dead. You got to work it, you know. And you're going to have folks that you thought that is your friends, and people that really wasn't. It'd be family. And you're going to get people hating on you. They're becoming enemies. On seeing that your business or ministry is really succeeding, you know, and you will get that. So you have to learn to love those folks, because what happens when you don't start to love them and you're starting to feed into them, what end up happening, you're bringing yourself down as well as your business, because you're letting your blessings being released to them, to your enemies. And that's really when you find the reward. The key thing in any business is marketing and advertising, is networking. If you're not networking, then there's many people. I have over 1,700 websites that I had done personally and set up. But the point is, if you're not marketing and advertising, then your business is like a book on the shelf that sits there and I'm going to read it one day. I'm going to read it one day. It just sits there, and so you gotta move. Knowing your clients and knowing who you're dealing with. Never sell yourself cheap. If your lipstick is $15, $15. Don't go down on the price. You know what I'm saying? Because you say $15, this cup here is $20, and this cup here is $1. They going for the $20 cup because they think it got more value. That means you don't have no value in it. Mm-hmm. You know, and you put value because this is what it's cost. Hey, that's the price. But you know, you mentioned something on the media. You definitely have to have a website. Even Facebook asks you to have a link on website. There's the apps. There's also the QR codes that I work with in these areas. But these are things that you need. Every business tool that you need to succeed your business. And in the network is something that you connected with other people. I mean, there's so many people that I've connected with, and from here to there, and where I connect with. You know, I got to fly to Texas next week. You know, and I'm dealing with Pastor dealing with him, with the Black Network, the Black Preacher Networking. There's some things we're working on together. But it's all about networking. You know, we can say it's not what you know, or what you have. It's who you connecting yourself with. And it's always going to be to connect. That's a game. That's one of the games that you cannot change, that been in existence. most children become in these seats inside the corporation because, hey, someone bring them in. I just seen a transition just last week with the hospital. Well, his daughter now is going to be over there. And I said, wow. But it's always been that way. But let me pause. I'll stop there.
Thank you, Pastor Coles. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Bernie touched on this a little bit about knowing your business. And we understand that what we do with our time makes a difference, and how we can understand our business and know our business more is going to help us be successful. So if each of you would tell us your favorite book, your favorite trade journal, your favorite blog or website that will help small businesses in their development.
My favorite book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When I read that book, my eyes completely opened. So that this business that I'm working hard, that's an earned income. But you're going to use that money to reinvest into the business. Not all of it, but what you need to do with it. But a part of that earned income has to be moved to passive income, so that you get to a point where that money is working for you. And for me, that is what I feel is a core part of my business and why I'm pushing forth that I'm going to pass it down to the family. But yet that earned income, whether it's small right now or whether it's large right now, but moving it into a passive income. Rich Dad Poor Dad, you need to get that book.
My current favorite is a recent release by Kim Hodges. It's called Right Division. And I like the book because it's an inspirational book. Oftentimes in small business, we're always pouring into our clients or pouring into our business that we forget to get filled up ourselves. So I like the book because it just kind of reignited a fire to, hey, you are doing the right thing, you are on the right path. And it just gives you tips and strategies to help you, if not start a business, move forward to the next level. So Kim Hodges, Right Division.
I have 4 books that I thought of. Well, one, I did you guys a favor, and I actually polled a small group of very successful people that I know and asked what their favorite books were to kind of get a consensus, and I narrowed it down to the top 3. So that's what I brought here, and these are all actually in our Small Business Center library as well. So I brought those with me. But one that you made me think of, Denisha, when you were talking about, you have 5 hours to work on your business. Have you guys ever heard of Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy? It's a very short read, but it's such a great book, and it just talks about the worst thing that you had to do all day was to eat a live frog. You might as well get it out of the way in the morning. So those things that you have to do, even if they're the bigger ones, the bigger pieces, just get those out of the way at the beginning of the day, and I think that's really great advice. The books that I brought, what you talked about, Mr. Bernie, is it? The E-Myth Revisited. This is one of my favorite books as well. But this one is by Michael Gerber. I think this is a great book. And 2 others that I got feedback on were The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell and Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Those are 2 of my favorite. Actually, not one of my most favorite of Malcolm Gladwell. I like his Outlier book. I think that opens your eye in terms of, it makes me always think about the business owners, like there always are the ones that, especially the ones who make it after that first year, that persist with that, or the ones that tend to be the outlier out there and making it through the different challenges on a daily basis. Great, I've heard that in college, Rich Dad, Poor Dad as an assignment, as a matter of fact. That was a good book. There's several different ones. I love, I change between blogs all the time. I like different ones of them depending on what's going on. Right now, since I'm working with government contracting, I do tend to follow a lot of the government contracting blogs just because of keeping up to date and up to speed with everything that's going on. And Steve Coprance has a very interesting, he keeps updates on most everything that happens almost on a daily basis, basically.
Very good, very good. One of my favorite small business bloggers. His name is Tom Edelhoff. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But one of the things he always promotes is you should spend 20 minutes every day reading something about your industry. I personally I'm always moving, and I really need to slow myself down long enough to actually read a full-length book. But I spend some time reading a lot of blogs, and LinkedIn to me is a great beginning step if you want to learn more about your industry. Join groups, people who are talking about things that you're doing, and they'll post things every day. You can sit and read it for 20 minutes and give you ideas about books that you should be reading. So that's another intro step there. We have a couple more questions. Definitely want to get the panelists' opinion on these. Getting down to the operations side, one thing we understand is that you can have the best business in town, but if no one knows about it, you still won't make any money. So what do you find is the best method to promote a business?
I'm going to jump from that. Find where your customers are at. So knowing who your target market is, it makes the difference between making or not making it. If your target market are teenagers and teenagers are on social media, which social media are they in? That's where you need to reach out. So you have to find where your clients are. You have to identify who your target market is, first of all. And once you identify your target market, and that can go from teenager to the federal government, you find where they spend most of the time, and that's where you need to reach them.
Get out there and network with them. Go to where they're at. That would probably be my biggest thing, is getting out there and networking. And I think we always hear that word of mouth is the best way to promote yourself. But with that word of mouth, the only way to get that is to get out there and be with the people that you need to be with, and talk to those people, and show your integrity, show that you have integrity, because that's what brings people to the word of mouth to tell them about you, and listening to your 20%.
Totally agree with the word of mouth. Yep. Allow people to be able to see what you're doing, touch, taste, experience, session, so they get an understanding of who you are and what your product is about.
I agree. Word of mouth, for my business specifically, word of mouth has been the biggest promoter for me. People see people's makeup I've done, or the girls in the store have done, and they've told a friend and told a friend, or seen it at a wedding. And when we do get new clients, I always ask them, how did you hear about us? And 95% of the time right now, it's been, oh, I saw the makeup you did at so-and-so's wedding. Sometimes we have gotten I saw you on Instagram or Facebook. So definitely word of mouth and social media. Definitely love social media because it's free.
Very good. Finally, to wrap it up with some wisdom nuggets. Stephen Covey is famous for his 7 habits of highly effective people. If you would please, name your 3 habits of highly successful small business owners. Let's start with Necia.
Okay. The first one I have is staying organized. I think Mr. Bernie said that. Definitely stay organized. That's been the hardest part for me, and creating ways to make sure that I stay organized. So staying organized. The second one would be, if you don't know, ask an expert. I see on Facebook so many times business owners that are asking Facebook, what do I do for this tax issue? And I'm thinking, no, go to somebody. Ask an expert. Don't ask Facebook, or ask a successful business person. The third thing I would say would be, don't be afraid to diversify your business. I started out just doing makeup. And then, of course, because of an allergic reaction, I started with my cosmetic line. And then after that, because I am allergic to everything, Ms. Denisha knows, I was doing my makeup in my clients' homes, and I was having allergic reactions to stuff in their houses. Dogs, candles, you name it. I was breaking out in hives and having to take Benadryl before appointments. So I took the next step, and that was actually opening a store location. So where now, not only do we have the makeup services and the cosmetic line, we do waxing services from the shoulders up. And we also have a natural skincare line in the store and other small businesses that we support in the store on the boutique end. So I always say just be able to diversify your business but still stay true to your brand. Not diversify in the sense that B.A.B.S Boutique and Beauty Bar will have a home health company one day, but maybe we will extend to some other things in the beauty industry.
You have to be willing to invest time and money into your team, into yourselves. Don't be surprised if you have people that want to gravitate to you and learn of what you do and everything. You can't be afraid to impart it to someone else. Because I believe if you're willing to share information with someone, I believe if it's God's will, they're going to speak with you. They're going to help you move forward. But you got to be willing to also extend that same hand, give them that same platform. I think that's a very strong key for this season in business, especially with young people, because they have the energy, but they need some guidance, and you may be already in that area of focus that they want to be in. Also, you have to be very decisive. You have to make a decision. You can't allow yourself to linger, and that's kind of like an area where I found myself in about a year where I kind of lingered. What should I do? And I had to make some tough decisions, but when you get to the point, being very decisive.
I'm going to add to those sentiments. Those are great, absolutely awesome. I'm just going to add just a couple. It goes along with knowing yourself that you were talking about earlier. I think once you go into business, you have to understand that you can't do all things to all people, and you can't do everything yourself.
That's right.
And once you understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, hopefully you will have the strength to hire people that can complement your or take care of the weaknesses that you can rely on. Basically, take care of the stuff that you can't do yourself. You can't alone be able to. And one very big piece for me, take time off, disconnect to everything every once in a while. I think that's very, very important. You need that time to yourself. It re-energizes you and go back to that daily grind that we all have to go back to.
With the same sentiment of not being able to be all things to all people, knowing your competitive edge is a great thing. But with that, respect your competitors and kind of know what they're doing and always be respectful towards them. I think that is a key thing for highly effective people. Some others that I wrote down, of course, networking, but being able to actually get out there and network, feeling comfortable doing it, knowing your 30-second commercial or your pitch or whatever you want to call it. I think that's really important. And then another thing that I thought about was under-promising and over-delivering. So I think that's a good thing to do if you can. So if you know something's going to be ready in 7 days, tell somebody it's going to be ready in 10 days and package that in 7. I think that's a big thing to do.
Very good. Can I have one thing on that?
Sure.
I think one of the other things that I've learned being with the city too is knowing what resources are available to you. As Ariana and Shareen both mentioned, they're free. So just taking advantages of being able to go in there with a business plan or an idea and talk to someone who's been there, done that. They have connections that you may need or may want, and just, knowing that, and, the worst you can get is a no from a question that you ask. So just knowing what resources are out there, and that there are people out there who want to help, and that's their whole job, is to help and want to see you succeed and make those connections and help.
And I'll also add that Ms. Herbert is one of our resources. She coordinates the small business plan competition for the city of Greenville. So again, right in our midst, we have another resource. So very good. Are there questions from the audience? I know some of our panelists need to leave, so I want to give them an opportunity to answer your questions if anyone has a question.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
From the small business standpoint, did you find it hard to figure out what avenue you wanted to take to do your marketing for your business? For me personally, I'm struggling with what way is the best. I don't want to spend a lot of money in one direction when there are better directions, I guess, based on, I'm not a large gym like some of the other gyms and studios around here, so I have to do what fits in my budget, but I want to reach the most people, I guess. So as far as from marketing,
That's been my biggest obstacle, is marketing and how I want to market and exactly who I want to market to. And I just started out with really what I could afford, and then I planned that next year or in 6 months, this is what I'm going to do. So that's how I started, and I started out with, and that's my goal for 2015 is to do more marketing. Like I said, mine was word of mouth before, and then it switched to focusing on social media, which has grown a lot for B.A.A.B.S. And my next step is to do more bigger marketing, like with TV, the local magazines that we have here, like Her Magazine, it's a couple of other ones. So definitely, like they said, knowing your target customer base, and that'll help you focus on which type of marketing you want to do for your budget.
Also, when you're doing your business and you're trying to target something and it's not working, whatever you're doing is not working, you can't be discouraged and give up. You got to find another avenue around what you're trying to do. And it's always good to talk to someone else, ask someone else what they're doing, what helped them. It don't have to be the same business that you are doing, but it can be something that's another business that someone else is doing may help your business. But never give up. Ever give up. If you give up, what was the point?
And I would say if you're thinking about marketing like a magazine or anything, go sit in Starbucks for 2 hours, or the Scullery or any of the ones that have the local publications, and see which ones people are picking up and see which ones sit on the shelf longer. Because then you really see which ones people are starting to pick up. The Greenville Times just revamped their entire magazine, and you can't keep them on the shelves right now. It used to be like a little fold-out newspaper, and now it's a nice full-color magazine. Looks phenomenal. They can't keep them on the shelves anywhere. So just notice things like that too. Just watch what people. When you walk into a meeting, kind of look around, see like what publication people have, in their purse or sitting out or things like that.
Can I add, and make sure you're following up with your customers, how they heard about you. Because then you'll want to focus more energy on those avenues. Like I said, I was getting a lot of Instagram and Facebook referrals, so I focused on targeting that population.
And if I don't mind adding, making sure that, I always say if you're the smartest one in your group, you need a new group. All right. And I choose to be around folks who's able to do and I can receive something from them. But marketing and advertising is always going to be the key thing, and the connecting and getting your business and knowing what's out there, because there's so much that, and it always had bothered me, and that's why I always get involved with it, that so many people don't know that certain things are out here, and not connecting with them, you lose that area. There's so many people that are willing to help others, but they don't know about it. And especially if you're new, what is the right angle to go at? And that's kind of, as I explain as a business coach, is which direction you need to connect with. You don't want to be spending a whole lot of money that you don't have. It takes some investment, but you don't want to clean out the bank account. You know what I'm saying? The mortgage got to be paid. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to look at what is your budget and what are you able to afford, and how you going to get the best out of your, let's say $3. People go to McDonald's, not healthy, but $3, they get the best for $3.21. You get a burger, a juice, and fries off the dollar menu. but how you can squeeze it, that you can see it and see it growing and connecting. There's some things that, even in business that people are doing, that you're doing in business, that people actually got grants for it, and y'all could get paid for that. And it's called an independent contract. Let me stop. This is your thing here, but these are things that y'all can do to help in these areas. It's always going to be in networking. It's always going to be in resource. Yesterday I went to pick up a paper. She said, Pastor Coles, I'm being fired. All right, I'm just here to pick up this paper. I didn't cover anything else. But today someone said I got 3 jobs open. So I'm gonna call her when I leave here and let her know I got you a job. But I didn't have anything for you yesterday, and I was just here to pick up a paper. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about networking and resourcing. All this is out here. And coming from a large corporation, I retired from Pepsi-Cola bottling in New York, 26 years, understood on where to connect. What is the most money we spent money on was marketing. How do you get it out there? How to get your business. There's business being, one of my sons, he's into electronics. So every year I take him to Vegas to go see those shows. Every year I take him to New York to see the other show. He's learning. He's learning more and more until he got so good that now I ask him questions about certain things. But that's it. That's what I was going to say.
Can I just say, plug into your local networking. Actually find out other opportunities like this one. Find out what else is out there. There's the Business Networking East, which is a huge network. There's Common Grounds. There's Winterville Connection. There's the JC's, Chamber of Commerce. There's so many local networking opportunities where it's actually the agenda is to connect with other people so that they can be talking about you and knowing what you do and introducing you to their network of people. Even these seminars, which I can pass these around if you want, but these seminars, I tell my clients all the time to go to the free seminars and network at these because they're doing exactly what you're doing, and maybe they have other ideas that you can talk to them about. I think somebody over here mentioned, talking to other people and seeing what they're doing. So I can pass these around as well.
Just one last thing. Try to partners with people. Try to partners, because if you're, and Mr. Mark said it more, he mentioned it, but it's trying to partners. Something in your business do one thing and you can partners, and you would say, listen, it's the same pie, but we all can get a slice of it. You know what I'm saying? Try to partners.
And another thing I'll mention, and you're right, you're next, is that there's a difference between advertising and public relations or PR. You can advertise in a magazine and put it out there and see what happens. Or you can start a PR campaign prior to that where you start forming yourself as an expert in this field. Start influencing the thought process of your target market and say, okay, I need to hear what she's saying because I know that she's, I don't know your story, but let's say, she lost 100 pounds last year and she's done all this stuff, so I want to be like her. And they start associating your expertise with what you provide as a start of it. So doing that PR work ahead of time before you advertise, I think will help you as well.
Next question. What have you been doing thus far that you feel is working when it comes to marketing for your business? That you notice is working?
It's really bringing in customers, word of mouth. I do Facebook advertising from my business page. I've done her magazine. I did get clients from that. I've done Daily Reflector. Right now I'm partnering with Pitt Community College and for 2 of my fitness avenues, and so they're getting students together for me, and those platforms start this week, so I'm excited about that. And seeing how my partnership with Pitt Community may help me grow in the community a little bit as well. I have not done Instagram or, what's the other one you listed? Twitter. I haven't done Instagram or Twitter yet. I've had some people, other small business owners that suggested that maybe I do that and have people follow me to see if that will grow clients. Just trying to stay in a smaller budget while I'm growing, but yet reach the community, without pouring a lot of money into it, like you said, working the bank, and then still don't know how you're going to eat next week if you do that. So I don't want to,
Another question for you. Are you the only person that's working within the company? Do you have any employees, or just you by yourself?
I have one person that is working with me, but she's doing it as a contractor right now. So she's family, so she's just doing it to kind of help me out right now until I'm able to grow a little bit more, and then she'll be an employee. We'll start going down that road of having employees in the business. But right now, I'm the sole fitness person there besides her.
Another question.
just me.
How long have you been in business?
2 years.
2 years. Then you may be at a point right now where you building a relationship.
Yes.
And it may be, I mean, I would say this is a great time for you in setting up a fit community. Building your business as far as like building a community of people around you, whether it be friends and family. And actually being their go-to person when it comes to not just fitness, but then also looking into some nutrition. You know, I think you're probably at a point of reinventing yourself in a way.
I am, in a sense, because I'm adding nutrition pieces into it and different things like that, and trying to add different programs in for children because they really need to get fit, because a lot of Burger King, McDonald's, and things like that, it's not working. I recently have tried to start breaking my son from doing it because he'll only be focused on pizza and chicken nuggets. Well, that doesn't look good, you bringing that into the studio, so I'm trying to get him healthier too. He doesn't like it, but that's the way you have to go. So if I can develop more programs to teach kids this is how you should eat, and then incorporate a side of fitness with it instead of playing video games in the afternoon and different things like that. So trying to reach parents that way as well, and just share my talents with the community. But it's hard getting out there when you're smaller than let's say B.A.B.S or Fit Connection or some of the other fitness studios around the area.
That's a great thing. There's some more that I can share with you. Because you don't want to grow too fast, too quick. You don't want to put unnecessary stress on yourself. Yes, that's a bigger competitor, but I think that there's an area that you can really tap into that where it's like you yourself, you can really just enjoy that particular market and not put too much stress on yourself trying to compete to that kind of level. I think it's a great opportunity for you.
Thank you.
There was one more person that had a comment or a question.
The question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how much is related to what Nelson, what you were saying about one strong element in your business is to grow intergenerational wealth. In my case, I want to develop an internship with youth. Once I learn DJ, I'm good with business, with music, and good with helping people party, in general, and have a good time. But the business aspect of it and really knowing how to, and I want to do it a little differently than the DJs kind of do it now. But my real purpose for the business is to give them a place of joy and empowerment with their peers and looking cool, legitimately, not faking or anything, but really having some skills, some ways to, hey, I'm making this thing happen. But I don't know how to put that really in a business sense. I have done something similar to this with a flea market in South City, and I've bought a space and I had 4 kids work with me and show them how to get stuff and turn it into profit. And it worked pretty good, but my problem was the girl was maturing much faster than the boys. It turned into something else, and they were kind of rough kids, and I had to get on them. As you're older, I have to be right or get out. So unfortunately, they had some other stuff. So that was a whole other story. I needed some help with that, and in that area. But that's the main idea of this business for me. It's just not for me to enjoy doing the DJ, which I love doing, but to give children a spotlight, a place to where they're really the star, and they're really managing things, and kids looking up to them. And something that skill they can take with them. They can go in and say, hey, I kind of like it. Maybe I'll do this when I finish school, or I'll do this on the side. But the main thing is to give them that confidence, those skills, that spotlight, and that really feeling great, for that moment.
I really appreciate your comments and your question. I'll ask Marvin if you wouldn't mind having a conversation with her after our panel discussion. I think that would be really good. I would like to go ahead and close the panel discussion for today.
Everybody learned something about your business. How you can relate everything you heard today to your business. How you gonna come out of your business. Myself, learn a little bit. I've been in business now for 19 years. The business that I'm in. When I went in business, people laughed at me. How in the world is this man making the money? Water is free. And it is free. I make a lot of money with free water. So with that said is, whatever you do or whatever you're doing, it will work. If you have confidence in yourself, it'll work. It don't matter what anybody else say or how you do it, but you gotta have the number one thing is confidence into you. We can tell you what to do, we can help you, but if you don't have that confidence, it's not gonna work. So it starts with you. And I hope that next year, this time, that everybody's still in business. Because with the economy and the way things are going today, it may not be where you want to be. You may be like, well, this ain't working. But it won't work if you don't put some effort in. That's what we're not doing. So we said a lot of good things, but there's a lot of stuff that when you are in business, you don't think about, that we don't like to think about. It's those days, you know, like last week, 2 weeks, I haven't worked in 2 weeks, what do you do? They make no money in 2 weeks, what do you do? Someone said earlier, plan. Because you're not gonna make money every day. So you gotta have a plan for whatever. That's the best thing. It's a plan. So, thank y'all.